Today is the Lionsgate portal. Yeah. Get excited, everybody. Lionsgate. It's been coming for a while. It actually started back on July 7th, on 7/7. That's when it officially starts. The Sirian Gate, when the Star System Sirius aligned with the Galactic Center. And since then, Sirius energy, feline energy, canine energy, Lyran energy has been streaming through for a good month, going on a full month now. Since August 7th at the peak was August 8th, as you know. That's when the stars of the Orion's belt align with the pyramids of Egypt, and then everything's aligned to the Galactic Center. So that is the basis of Lionsgate. That is what it is. So much energy is in such critical, crucial, and direct alignment with everything. It's like a Galactic New Year. All the stars in the sky are just portals. I was driving home from Boston like two nights ago, and I'm looking at the stars, and the stars, every star is a portal. It's just a huge spiral, just spiraling out from the star down into the planet Earth. It's like every star like in the sky almost turns into like a gate. It's like a stargate, and it's just like streaming energy directly down to the Earth, through the Earth to the center of the Earth, and everything just vibrates out with all Lyran angelic awesomeness. So that's what's going on here. That's what's happening here. That's how it is here. It's been like this for the past month. So feline intelligence, canine intelligence has been coming through, especially during July. Now Lyran intelligence is hitting the planet now, especially right now. It's August 10th, so it's been a little bit. So the Lightcodes have been coming through, and I've been really enjoying it. I hope you guys and girls out there have been really enjoying all the energy hitting the planet, and you've been taking advantage of it. If you haven't yet, make sure you get into meditation. You center yourself and you ask your higher self to connect you with the Galactic Center, because that is what these stargates are for. Is for you to get downloads and for you to get intelligence and energy work done on yourself, so you can continue and awaken and ascend more into your awakening path. Alright, so let's get started here. I'm just excited. This is like it's like probably it's like my favorite time of year. I just wanted to share some things with you today about Lionsgate. Look, it's like a new year. It's like a upgrade. It's all heart energy coming from the Galactic Center through Lyra, through Orion's belt, through the Sirius star system, down to the planet Earth, and it's just like supercharged. After July passes and August hits, all that canine energy and feline energy starts to expand and magnify and compound on itself, and it just becomes like amazing galactic line energy, and it's just like, now it's like a big cat energy, and you're just here in your heart, and you're enjoying everything. You enjoy your life with more of your heart. So if you've been feeling full, if you've been feeling more completed, and you've been feeling more energized, and you understand Lightcode, you understand how the sun works and how the sun brings in happiness and joy and peace and love and prosperity for all of us, and it's the source of all life, that's the source of all creation, then it's what's happening. Lionsgate is here, and it's here for you to enjoy. Okay? So get out in the sun. Get out, enjoy your life, and allow the sun to heal you and be in your heart, because you are the sun in your heart. So this Lionsgate, I just want to share about my findings and my revelations and things I discovered about this energy further. Usually I talk about ancient Lyra and past lives and the involvement the lion has in our culture. Last year I did a past life regression. The year before that I did the relationship of the lion and the dragon in our culture and owner soul stream. That was huge. That was like one of my favorite times. The time before that I did like a whole channeling. Actually this time it's not about Lyra at all. It's not about Sirius. It's not about Orion. This one's about the star. This one's about the star system Perseus. Okay, in ancient Greece. All right. So I had always had an affinity with ancient Greece, and and I'll tell you about what this has to do with Lionsgate as I get to the story. Okay. And also take pieces of the story and apply it to yourself, and do this stuff for yourself, and go and explore these things as I show you. I'm not just saying this stuff. I'm saying this stuff so you can learn from it and go activate and do these things for yourself. All right. I'll show you how this has to do with Lionsgate. So I've always had an affinity with ancient Greece, and that time period, and the star system Perseus. So just because I've always enjoyed movies like Gladiator, Troy, and series like Spartacus, stuff like that. The ancient warrior stuff. From slavery to freedom type of story. The story of the underdog, the story of the champion who overcomes any odds and makes it work for him or for them. It's a classic type of archetype that is near and dear to many people and is very important. So this is a time period we've all experienced, even now, especially now in current times, the way the world is. It's the ancient civilization Mycenae in Greece. I've been researching this time period and this civilization for a couple months now, and I was just piecing together the pieces, and I was looking through history books and looking through the different types of storylines and the different artifacts and the pieces that were uncovered and discovered and recovered from this civilization. There's one story about Agamemnon, who, if you know who Agamemnon is, he wasn't a good guy. He was like the ruler. He was the guy in the movie Troy who started the war, and who was greedy, and who controlled Achilles, played by Brad Pitt. And I don't think he ends up getting killed, but he ends up killing a lot of people and causing a lot of senseless destruction that was unnecessary. So, and that role was based off a guy who did the exact same type of stuff. Just putting this as a foreword, if you see Agamemnon in Mycenae, that wasn't the timeline. That's not the timeline I'm talking about. Because if you know how history is done currently mainstream, they only credit who were there after the great civilization fell. It's just like with Egypt. Actually, like, no, it's like that's not how the actual history went. A lot of stuff you see in the textbooks, it's always about what happened after the greatness happened that they don't want to talk about, that they didn't understand because they weren't there. They didn't understand themselves enough to know what that timeline was about. Okay, so back to the story here. Back in Mycenae, the ancient civilization was like a golden dome. It was like a golden zone where it was totally controlled and at peace and at harmony with the universe. There was like an entire town, and there were stargates that connected through the town from the galactic center, from linking to the stars, like mainly the Perseus star cluster, down to inner Earth, to the center of the Earth. And there are portals. There's like actual gateways that are still active there today in the ruins of the town. If you go and research the town, And there is a town hall that is still there that you can recognize if you go and research and walk the town in your mind. However, the main thing about this town is there's, before you walk in, there's a gate with a lion on it. And as you walk in, you realize it's like, hey, this is like, a lion gate. And you walk through the lion gate and you walk through into the town and you understand the level the town is on. Um, it's an ancient civilization. The Mycenae people looked at themselves as mighty lions, as people who were in a state of galactic integrity and who could protect and fight and move through any obstacle that they wanted. And it was a point of defense also. They defended themselves with lion energy. So it's like a embodiment of the galactic lion on the earth today, and that still exists on the earth today. So it's just like understanding that lion energy as a faculty of your own energy system and your own energy field is crucial, because once you go back there, you realize that all that stuff is still there for you to embody. All right. So on my past life journey, when I went back there, and I walked, I walked into the town hall, and then I realized that they're all still there. All the gods are still there. Zeus, Perseus, Thor, Athena, they're all still there. They're all still there. It's like a level of eternity that will always exist when you understand alignment, when you understand how ancient civilizations are built. They're built to last. All right. So there's a reason why we still marvel at Egypt, or we still marvel at the Parthenons in Greece. It's because they were built with integrity. They were built with knowledge. And once things are built like that, you could always go back and learn from them, because the energy is always going to be there, because the energy is ingrained in the structure of reality. So when I was back in Mycenae, I was walking into the town hall. I was walking through the town and looking at the well system that goes down into inner earth. Then I was looking at the town hall. It's just like a huge building with like golden doors, and I was looking at how the entire town was structured. It was structured in like a equilibrium. You had one area here, one area here, one area here, but they all complemented each other. All right. So I walked into the town hall, and then as I walked into the town hall, it's like a massive town hall with a massive throne with a giant, with a golden giant sitting on it, and that golden giant is Zeus. And I was talking to Zeus, and I'm just like, what happened here? How did this happen? Why are you guys not around anymore? And he told me the truth, which was the galactic councils on the planet were run by vessels who were corrupted, and the council voted to overthrow itself, and then the city fell. However, that was in the latter ages. During the golden age of the town, the structure was in order, and the town systems were in order, and everybody had a vote for high integrity, and things were at peace, and they're able to defend and implement their reality as positive as they wanted it. So as I was talking to Zeus about this, I was just like, so as you guys imbibe lion energy as the sun, and we're these golden sun beings, like, where do I come into this? How do I fit into this? He's like, you are that. You are that sun. You are that. Okay? And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I was like, what about Perseus? How does he fit into this? He's like, you are him. Also, you are him. Also. I was like, okay. So how do I be more like Perseus? He's like, here you go. And he handed me a key. He handed me a golden key. And I took the key and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I was like, thank you, Zeus. Thank you, Zeus. And I was like, thank you, Perseus. And I walked out the door and I left the town. And after I left meditation, came back to present day, I'm looking at this key and I'm like, wow, this is a really dope object. Like, what can I do with this? And then I started to put it together. I walked through a lion's gate, which is a door, and then I talked to Zeus, and then he gave me a key. Like, there's like logic that goes for that. It's like, if you control a door, you have the key. If you can lock a door, you have the key. If you can open a door, you have the key. If you're in charge of the door, you have a key. So if you are a gatekeeper, if you are a guardian of the realm, you are the door. And then you are also the key. So when he gave me this key, like, everything changed, guys. Everything changed. I was like, I became like even more of myself. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like something that when you embody yourself, all your energy starts to return to yourself, and it goes even more through your body than you ever thought possible. So it's like you go and you realize more of who you are, and then you're walking around in your day-to-day, and it's like all your bad habits drop, all the bad ways you used to think drop, all the bad emotions that used to be cycling through drops. It's just like you start becoming a new person. You start to be able to look at yourself different, look at other people different, love yourself more, love other people more. You start to be able to understand other people more because you understand yourself more. And it's like that story of Perseus. You have to like unlock yourself. You have to unlock the potential within yourself. And it's a beautiful story because nobody else can do it besides you. Nobody else can do these things besides you and live up to your own potential besides you, because you're the one in control. You're the one who has that embodiment as themselves, and nobody else can be you. You are you. It's like nobody else is you, and that is your power. All right, so when you're out in your environments, in your towns, in your cities, look for places that need adjustment. Look for places that are struggling. Now, mind you, in order to see these places, you have to be activated within yourself. I remember I used to always want to go and activate places and start unlocking stargates and doing all these things, but my higher self always say, your first mission is yourself. You have to activate yourself first before you start activating all these places. So I was like, okay, I'll work more on myself. So, however, you can still help as you're doing that, and then you just get better at both at the same time when you're doing it. So also keep that in mind. So when you're out in like a city, a new city you visit, or even in your own town, just look at places that need help. Look at areas of the town that could use adjusting, and just have your higher self come in and just cut any density away and remove it, and have them help you remove it, because when you get stronger, you can just literally just basically do almost all of it yourself, because you can see exactly what's going on, especially when you get up to a higher elevation and you're in an energized sacred space. You start to be able to just zone in and see like what's going on. Like, oh, that doesn't belong here, we're gonna move that out of here. I was just on a mountain last night. I did one of my first activations ever. I live right by the highest point in Massachusetts, so because it's Lionsgate, I decided to go up there. And my higher selves have always been telling me, if you want to wake up, son, you get up on a mountain at 12 a.m. 12 a.m. at night. Get up on a mountain and we'll show you what to do. If you want to roll with us, you gotta you gotta do what we do, and you have to connect with us on a high level. So that's what I did last night. I finally, figured it was Lionsgate. I drove up to a mountain, the highest point in the state, 12 a.m. And these are the things your higher selves will tell you to do. So you go up, into an energy zone. when you're going into a sacred spot like that, where it's like a vortex on top of a mountain, a lot of things are different than if you were there in the daytime. Okay, so it's like you go there, the wildlife is just buzzing. I think I ran into like 3 porcupines. I've never seen a porcupine in my life since I lived in Massachusetts. Yeah, I ran into 3 last night. So they were out just about wandering around. And then you see all these types of energies, all these types of dynamics that you would never perceive or feel or sense if you were there in the daytime. So when I get up there, I took my staff. Actually took 2 of my staffs. I took 2 staffs, and when I arrived, they're like, "All right, your first mission, disable that cell phone tower." So it's just like, "Oh wow, I never even seen that thing," you know. I've been up there multiple times. I've never like even like realized how destructive it was. Actually, I have seen it, but I haven't like actually seen what it was doing, you know. Because you're educated on how cell phone towers are bad, are like not good for the environment, but if it's one on top of a sacred energy center, the highest energy center in the land, you wonder like, who put that there? How diabolical of these people that put something like that right there. So as I walk up, so I started to walk up to it. As I walk up to it, I realized that there's like you know a lot of density going through it, and it's connecting. It was trying to connect a negative reality into the negative net that they had going through people's phones. Pretty much, it was just like a negative artificial net. The cell phone tower brings in a negative net that goes through technology, that goes through people's phones, and that they connect to each other through the phones. And it's just like, oh, then you get the whole fake reality. So I was up there last night and just destroyed that thing. You know, it's like, you know, completely locked it down. It's not there anymore, and it's just like, all good. So we're all good here. That was my Lionsgate mission. I wanted to share that with you guys. And a lot of cool other things happened. After that, I was spinning energy on top of a mountain with my staff. I was about to take some footage. I was like really like with my staff, like spinning it like Avatar style, doing all types of stuff, like behind my back, above my head, and doing 360s with my staff and stuff. And then a little porcupine just like walked up to me, and like I almost like smacked it. I was just like with my staff. I was like, what are you guys doing? You just walk up to a guy spinning a staff at 12 a.m.? The little porcupine just walked up to me, and I was just like, holy smokes! And I was like, hey, little buddy, and then he ran away. I was just like, wow, like, can't write this stuff in the book. It was awesome. So I had a great Lionsgate. It all comes down to the potential within yourself. You know who you are down at the core. You know you came here for a reason. You know you came to help clear and activate the environment. So step into your purpose and start doing these things, because this is why you're watching this video. This is why you're on YouTube looking for awakening content. It's because you know that you're supposed to be doing it. You know that you're supposed to be helping out and looking after the people who are around you because you love them. You know, and then next thing you know, you're standing above your town, moving a ton of energy as far as the eye can see, and then you're really the guardian. You're really a true guardian as you know who you are. And then your higher selves are like, good job. You're really stepping into it. You're really taking your power back, and you're really doing what you're supposed to be doing here. So I just wanted to share that with you today. And I also wanted to share with you to stay in your heart, to understand who you are there first, and to never let anything sway you or adjust you or change you or move you in any direction that you know that is not wise for you to go. And in this state, while you're in your heart, nothing can touch you. Nothing can move you. Nothing can stop you. And it is with that that I leave you with all the love in my heart, and I just want you to know that you can do it. You are a god. You are a goddess, and the way that you exist is multidimensional. And when you're in the state, you are the I am presence. You are the presence who decides what goes on in a zone and what doesn't. And all you have to do is just be aware enough to look at things happening in the environment and just move it, and then bring in clearer energy, and then that's it. And it's just like, it's that easy, it's that simple, you know. You don't have to put on a show, you don't have to put on a seance, you don't have to start dancing in public. It's just really just like, hey, that church hasn't been cleared in 300 years. Let me go, by yourself. Help me clear this church real fast on my walk. That happens to me all the time. I'm walking down the street and then I see a church I'd never seen before. And I'm like, hey, that church really needs to be cleared, because if you know churches, people go into churches and then they pray and they want forgiveness because they're in that religion. That's what the religion requires. And they leave all their stuff in the church that they wanted to release. And that's just accumulates and accumulates. It accumulates after years and years and years. So you look at a church and it's like 300 years of people's stuff that they want to discard and give away to whoever they're praying to. And it's just like, well, somebody's got to do something with it, and that somebody's us. That somebody's you. It's very easy, actually. It's not that difficult, and then when you get used to that, you can go up and start doing more. However, start small. Start in a place where you understand your capacity and you understand what you're doing. So your higher self will be like, okay, now that you've done this, you can go do this. Now that you've done this, you can go do this. And it's all from the heart. So that's why Lionsgate is so important, because it's all heart energy based. And when you're in your heart, you know what you're doing. When you're truly in there, you know what's happening, and you know your place in the galaxy, you know your place in the universe, and you know why you're here. So peace and love. I love you. If you guys would like a session, go check out my website at quantumlight.org. I do everything on there. Oracle deck, custom art, custom readings, numerology readings, energy coaching. Go check those things out. I can help you out with a lot of things. Go ahead and take advantage of that. I also have a clothing line, empathgear.com. I also have an organite line, empathleague.com. It's the same website. I make a lot of organite devices to help protect your home and your environment and your territory that you exist in and live in. So check those things out. Peace and love. I will talk to you soon.